Why real masculinity prioritizes purpose over happiness. Happiness is just a fleeting emotion. Happiness in our modern day means fulfilling our desire. You have a craving, you fulfill it. It is completely normal nowadays to fulfill all our desire, to give in to the freedom to desire. We can desire everything we want and fulfill all of our desire, or at least that's what we think in our modern day. But I'm telling you, it is completely wrong. The Buddha said 2,500 years ago that desire is the cause of suffering. You have to understand that when he said that, he meant that desire begets more desire. So the more you desire, the more you want to desire. There is no end. It's a bottomless pit. And this encapsulates exactly the modern life we have nowadays. Because there is so many desires that have been manufactured because of the advent of technology and the variety of pleasures we now have available. Netflix, movies, TV shows, food, junk food, drugs, alcohol, scrolling, and so many more. There are so many ways to be happy by fulfilling all those desires. And in our modern day, it is so easy for us to be addicted to many things. I have given up porn and I've given up alcohol. So those things are no longer part of my life. But I have a bit of a compulsion when it comes to food, and I struggle a bit with it because let's be real, it is not easy nowadays not to be distracted by all those compulsion, all that short-term dopamine. That is why Anna Lemke wrote this amazing book, Dopamine. But I digress. So when we follow our happiness and when we think we should give in and indulge in all those distractions and those compulsion and those addiction, that is when we become miserable. So by virtue of following our happiness, we are actually miserable. It's contradictory, but it is the case in modern day because we think that being happy is consuming all those short-term pleasure. But you have to understand that the brain is not used to that short-term pleasure and that short-term dopamine that is constantly being released in your mind. Dopamine is not a bad thing, but dopamine is a thing that it should be a reward after an effort, after you have strived for something. Nowadays, you can get dopamine by just eating some junk food, by watching porn, by going on Netflix, by scrolling, whatever the case might be for you. It is so readily available. But you have to understand what it does to your brain. It desensitizes your brain to those pleasures. So your brain becomes more tolerant. Those dopamine receptors, those D2 dopamine receptors, will get desensitized because you are constantly flashing them that short-term cheap dopamine. The brain is simply not used to it. Over time, those dopamine receptors will get fewer and it will get less efficient. But it doesn't stop there. You get that cortisol to compensate, and that cortisol is a stress hormone. And when you're constantly having that stress hormone, you are more anxious, you are more in pain, you are more distraught, you are more depressed. Your life is dull because you cannot enjoy those little things, those beautiful little things, the ordinary life when your dopamine receptors are fried, literally fried. So by following your happiness, by following those pleasures, by indulging in those pleasures, you will be miserable, as I just said. It is better for you to find something meaningful in your life. And that is when purpose comes along. I have found mine, and it might take time for you, but it is okay to take your own sweet time to find your purpose. But if you have an intention to find your why, your meaning in life, whatever that meaning might be, to go towards that calling, that in and of itself is commendable, is applaudable. But to not so easily give in to all those distractions, all those compulsion, even though It is not simple because they are everywhere. Temptations are everywhere. But I'm telling you, going on this path to get to the freedom from desire by meditating, by working out, doing harder things, whether it's fasting, cold shower, those things work for a reason because they make you more tough and they make you more able to be more disciplined, more consistent because your brain understands that you can take when you indulge in those desires, you can't take shit. You avoid pain at any cost. But the thing is, it will bring you pain indirectly. And the way you deal with that pain because you want to avoid it is to indulge more and more in those compulsive behaviors and addiction. So when you choose your pain wisely, pain, the struggle comes with committing, with looking for what is meaningful, truly meaningful in your life, to your purpose, your goals, your mission. Do harder things like working out and meditating because that helps you find some meaningful in life. The easy path will not bring you anything but pain, short-term pleasure, but that short-term pleasure lasts and it only gives way to more pain and more misery. That long-term gratification will come along, I guarantee. That is when you can find what is fulfilling. That is when you can find the why. That is where you can be more spiritual, mask, and reach your higher self and be self-actualized. All those good things come, but you need to be more committed and be able to do harder things in life. That's what I want for all of us. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Sebastian. I'm here to help those of you who want to quit porn and desexualize their mind and other addictive, compulsive behaviors, as all of those I mentioned and so much more. And I'm sure I can help you. Links in the description box below. And you can also join my newsletter. Thank you so much. I'll see you.